अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुत्सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Hari Om. Can everybody hear me on Zoom? Sorry, we had some technical issues, but we are now back online. Welcome everybody. So we are almost done with the 16th chapter, which talks about divine and devilish estates. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the first 3 shlokas covered the divine, and then the rest of it, he covered other devilish estates where these people, kama, krodha and lobha, with desire, anger and greed, is their main motivating factors. And Bhagavan says such people not only don't have any joy in this world, but then they, after this life also, they go to hell, and their future lives are also sorrowful. So the question is how? Arjuna wants to know, how can I get out of this? Bhagavan, you said that yes, the divine and are in everybody, and I also have a combination of both. At times I get desire, I get anger, at times I get greed. And how do I get out of this problem, this bondage, so that I may enjoy a sattvic life and I may continue on my spiritual journey? He has already heard 16 chapters, so Arjuna is quite convinced. And so in answer to how, these last 2 verses of the 16th chapter will answer how are we to get out of this asuri, go towards Daivi, and then continue our spiritual journey towards the truth. So we'll do shloka number 23, chapter 16, shloka 23. Yashastra vidhimutsrijya वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम्. Together, यशास्त्र विधिमुत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम्. So these last 2 shlokas, 23 and 24, Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells us about the importance of Shastra. How Shastra will help us to go from tamas to rajas to sattva and then to the highest. So from the asuri to daivi sampatti and then even higher. So he says yaha. Yaha means whoever that individual is. Male, female, young, old, race, color, doesn't matter. Whoever that individual is, Shastra Vidhi. Shastra means the scriptures. And we'll talk about what is Shastra, what are the scriptures. Vidhi means the injunctions, the instructions given in the scriptures. Utsrijya, having given up, not following the instructions of the scriptures, Bhagavan says, Vartate, this individual works kamakarataha, with desire. He works with kamakarata, means still he has desire and does not follow the scriptures. What happens to him? And this is basically, he's talking about the Asuri people, also us, if we don't follow the scriptures. Nasaha. So this individual, na siddhim avapnoti. Siddhim means he does not have any great achievement in this lifetime. Avapnoti, he does not attain. Not only he has no great achievement, no sukham, no joy, no param gatim, and not even the highest goal. So what is Shastra? So in Sanskrit it is said Shasanat Trayate iti Shastra. That which protects us through injunctions, through instructions, giving us right directions, it protects us, does not let us go on the wrong path. And scriptures are not only spiritual, there are in all the religions, there are scriptures which have do's and don'ts, whether it's the 10 commandments or whether the instructions of Buddha, Dharmapada in Islam, in every religion, in the Jewish, there are instructions which are given of how one should live one's life. And if we don't follow, we will go in the wrong way, which is not only in scriptures, but in everything. Like you buy a new car. Cars nowadays are so complicated, they have so many computers, or you buy a new phone or any new device, it comes with instructions. And if we say, I don't need to read, I'll just start using it, we'll end up misusing it, misusing the device, probably even breaking it. Or we are driving on the road and you say, I'm not going to follow the rules of the road. There are certain rules, you stop at a stop sign, you keep the speed limit. When you're making a left turn, let the straight person go. But if you don't follow those rules, you will be a danger to yourself and a danger to others. So rules are made for a particular purpose, and that is what Bhagavan tells us, that these instructions are given for us to improve, to get better. But each one is free to follow the scripture that either he is born into or that he chooses, without being forcefully changed or being forced to change, or becoming fanatical that my religion alone is good and everybody else who doesn't follow should be killed. So we are not saying that one should be fanatic, but whatever I follow it fully, follow it completely. And kamakarata, he says that again throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he warns us about desire. Kama, do not give in to too much desire. Desire, one can be through actions and one can be mental desire. Like there is a sloka, ya karmendriyani samyamya, ya aste manasa smaran, ahankar vimudhatma, Krishtachara sa uchyate. So he says, scriptures say don't do this. Okay, I won't do it, but my mind is still thinking, oh, I wish I could do it. I had so much fun. It could be any desire. It could be a desire for the opposite sex, could be a desire for food, for, power, for money. So they say, oh, it's not good to have too much selfish desire. But my mind is still thinking about it, and sooner or later, I will fall back. So not only not doing the actions, but removing it from the mind. How will that happen? When my goal is higher, when my goal is Bhagwan, when my goal is God, then automatically these fall off. So that is called Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya. Those who do not follow, what happens to them? So Bhagwan Sri Krishna says that three things can happen to them. Nasa siddhim avapnoti. He or she does not get his purpose in life. So जैसे आए थे वैसे चले गए. As I came into this world, I go back, maybe even worse. because I haven't followed the scriptures, I have done wrong thing. So my purpose of this life has not been fulfilled. I have wasted my life. That is number one. So I do not achieve the purpose. You say, but how about joy? I have fun. No, even fun is only temporary. Soon, say whatever you're enjoying, after a while your body gets old, gets weak, cannot enjoy, but your mind is still thinking, and then because of that desire, you develop the strong vasana, and then you carry that vasana, and then you're born again. So the idea is that not only there is no joy in this life, but there is also no joy in future lives, because I have such strong vasanas that to fulfill those I keep taking birth after birth. So the idea is to reduce my selfish desires, have a desire to serve the world, serve God, and ultimately even that desire should go away. I am serving should go away. I am a humble instrument of Bhagavan. And the purpose of human being, I call myself a human being, I give myself a name, I'm human being, is because I have an intellect, and I am a little better than the animals, birds, plants, fish who don't have intellect. They also eat, they also reproduce, they also move around, do whatever, they build nest and so on. But the difference is I have an intellect. So if I have to call myself a human being, I have to act like a human being. So calling reminds me of a story. So this man was walking along the street, and then he saw another man walking, and he looked at him. They didn't know each other, but they smiled, and they said, "Let's walk together." And so they kept walking down the street, and suddenly the first man tells the second, "Let's cross the street. Let's cross the street." He said, "Why do you want to cross?" He said, "There is a dog that is barking up ahead." He said, "Yeah, but that dog is on a leash. He's tied up to the pole." No, 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 he's barking. I don't know. Let's cross the street. How about if he gets free of the leash? So they crossed the street, and the second man asked the first man, "So what is your name? I never asked you your name." He said, "Oh, my name is Veer Bahadur Singh." He calls himself Veer, and Bahadur in Hindi means the bravest, great. And Singh, of course, is a common last name, not only in Sikh, but also in. So you have a particular name, but you don't follow that. So if I call myself a human being, but I do not use my intellect, which Bhagavan has given me, do not follow the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, which has been given to us and explained beautifully by Puja Gurudev so beautifully in this commentary. If we don't follow, then our life is a waste. So that's what Bhagavan says, that those who don't follow the scriptures, and I have told you again and again, reduce desire, because desire leads to anger. If you don't get it, if you get it, it leads to greed. And it leads to jealousy. If somebody has more, it leads to pride. If I have more than somebody else. So desire is the entry gate for so many other evils. So that's why reduce your desire. And if you have a desire, transform it to service. So that's what he says. Do not practice too much desire. So that is shloka number 23. We'll do shloka number 24, where Bhagavan will tell us about the importance of Shastra. What is Shastra? Shastra is the book of instructions, which all religions have. So, Tasma Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविधानोक्तम् कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हसि. So he says, Tasmat, therefore, Shastram Pramanam Te. Let the Shastra be your Pramana. Pramana means authority. Te means yours. So it's the sixth case of you or yours. Let scriptures be your authority, not what internet says or not what so and so leader has said, or because leaders keep changing, internet anybody can put. But what is time tested, what has been there for thousands of years and was told to us by great masters, let that be your authority. And authority in what? Karya, akarya. Karya means what I should do, akarya, what I should not do. And vyavasthita, and be firmly established in that understanding that using the scriptures, what I should do, what I should not do. Vyavasthita means firmly stationed in that understanding. And then Jnatva, having known Shastra Vidhana. Shastra Vidhana means the instructions or the injunctions of Shastra, which are Uktam, which are said in the Shastras. Karma Kartum. So these kind of activities, iha, here, arhasi. You should do such activities here. What is iha here? We'll talk about it. It's a very important word here, iha. So he says that follow the scriptures, make them your authority, decide what you should do, what you should not do, and having studied the injunctions of the scriptures, then only you should do karmas. Arhasi means as a human being, it is your duty to do it. If you don't do it, you're following below your dignity. It's not, you're not worthy of that. If you call yourself worthy of being called a human being, then one of the important thing is use your intellect to act wisely. So, Shastra Pramanam. So, Shastra we already talked about in detail, the scriptures. Pramanam means let it be your authority. Let it be how you live your life. What do we mean by authority? Authority does not mean somebody standing on your head and giving you instruction. Authority means a reliable means of understanding. Like, of course, those on Zoom cannot see it, but what is the color of the tablecloth of this table? Blue, right? How do we say it is blue? What is the authority? The eyes, right? The eyes can see it, the color is blue. And I was told when I was a child, this is blue and this is green and this is red. So eyes become the authority for sights. Now, what you are listening, what is the authority? The ears, right? Because you have heard and you understand English and you have listened to this before to some extent. So this knowledge goes in. So authority for listening is the ear, for taste is the tongue, for smell is the nose, and so on. So authority means a reliable means of knowledge. So you cannot say that with my ears I can hear that this tablecloth is blue. You can't hear with your ears. If you don't have eyes, you can't tell the color. Or if your ears are not working, somebody, they say, what is the color? You can see it, but you may not be able to hear the question. So pramana means what is the authoritative means of knowledge. So the authoritative means of knowledge of how I should function in the world is Shastra. And Shastra tells a lot. It first of all tells me what is dharma, what is adharma, what I should do, what I should not do, what is right, what is wrong, what is uh, advised by the prophet, and then what is not to be done. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna throughout the Bhagavad Gita does not give any orders, any instructions. He just gives advice. He says, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. There are two choices. If you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. But nowhere he says that it is a command from me. He says, these are my advice, instructions. The rest is up to you. So here, Bhagwan is throughout this Bhagavad Gita giving us the advice, and then he says, it's up to you how to follow. So not only the Shastra is a medium for right and wrong, but also Nitya and Anitya Vivek. So what is permanent, what is temporary? So that discrimination, and that is the more important function of Shastra, of the spiritual knowledge, that there is something that is permanent and that is something that is temporary. And the choice is ours. We can chase after temporary things, which we find we do, and then you get some temporary joy. And then when the joy goes away, then you suffer and then you are miserable, and then you say, why did I do this? Why did I not do this? So it the Shastra tells you what is Nitya and Anitya, temporary and permanent, and the Viveka, and how to follow the permanent and give up the temporary. And then only my purpose of existence is served. And so the Shastra tells us what is the purpose of human birth, why we have taken human birth. Now the word Iha, Iha Arhasi, Iha is a very important word that Bhagwan has put. Iha means here. So here, what it means is on this earth, on this Manushya Loka. Now, who are the scriptures for? Shastras for? Can you teach Shastras to a dog or a cat or a mosquito or a buffalo? You can't. Unless you are Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj, where he could even make a buffalo chant, but that is a rare exception. But generally, we cannot teach Shastras to an animal or to a bird. So only people who can study Shastra are human. And only in this earth, in this Manushya Loka, in this particular world of humans. How about in heavens? In heavens, you can't, because heavens is a place where you go to enjoy. I have done some good action, so I go to enjoy. Or the lower worlds, I go to suffer. So maybe through suffering, but ultimately, even through suffering, I have to realize that I have to get out of this suffering. So I have to come back to the human birth. And once I get a chance, then I can improve. Even in heavens, you can't study, even all the lokas, except in Brahma Loka. But there also, you have to have done so much good karmas to go there. But all the other heavens are just for enjoyment. That's why even Indra, to get this highest knowledge, he went to his teacher and stayed 99 years, even though Indra is the king of gods. He could not study in heaven. He had to leave heaven, go to his teacher, stay as a in self-control, renunciate for 99 years before he could learn. So only in this human birth, where we have this knowledge and the gratitude to Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji, who has translated this Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit to English, so that we are able to understand and abide in that. So Shastra is more important even than what you can see, what you can hear. Shastra is more important. The scriptures are more important. There's a very beautiful story everybody knows of Bhishma Pitama, who was the grandfather of the Pandavas and Kauravas, a very noble individual. And his father's name was Shantanu. And there's a long story about Shantanu, but we won't go into that. But Shantanu had passed away, and Bhishma Pitama was doing the Shraddha. Though most of you know, but Shraddha is a ceremony that is done where you invite some priests to come and do some rituals around the fire, and then you make offerings into the fire, which it is said the ancestors, the subtle part of that offering, any food that you offer, the subtle part goes to the ancestors and they are nourished, and they in turn give us blessings. So we invoke the blessings of our ancestors through this offering of Shraddha, and of course the priests who come are also suitably fed and given the remuneration and all, so that they can also maintain their lifestyle. So Bhishma Pitama was doing Shraddha for Shantanu, and Bhishma was, of course, a very evolved soul, and the priest whom he had invited was a very powerful priest. And it is said by chanting, if the person doing the yagna, if his mind is pure, the soul actually appears. So this priest chanted, and Bhishma, of course, was a very pure soul, and his father Shantanu actually appeared in spirit, not in body, but in spirit. Very clearly, he could see his father. And as a part of the offering of Shraddha, you are supposed to do the pinda ball, the rice balls that you make and you offer to your ancestors. And he's ready to offer. And Shantanu puts his hand out. And Bhishma looks at the priest. He says, should I give it to him in his hand or should I put it in the fire, in the Usha grass? Priest says, the Shastra says, put it in the fire, even though your father is here. But this offering, when it is put in the fire, as per the scripture instructions, will not only go to your father, but to all your ancestors. So even though you may see or hear something different or situations may change, they say, Ajkal to, these Shastras are very old. 5,000 years ago, somebody said something to somebody in some war. Why do I have to follow? No, they are as important today as they were thousands of years ago, and we can see that all this anger, greed, jealousy, all that, it is so much increased in this Kali Yuga. Kama, Krodha, Lobha is increased so much. So that is the importance of Shastra and Guru. Shastra, Guru. That's why Shankaracharya ji says that what is Shraddha? Shastreshu Guru Vakyeshu. So firm belief in the Shastra and the Guru Vakya, the voice of the teacher. And Puja Gurudev, I did meet him, but not as much as many people who had a lot of time to get very close to him. And if you go to people, the old timers in Flint, Michigan, and such places, they have such firm faith. They used to say, they always say, they said, if Gurudev came and told us do something, we just did it blindly. There was never any question, never any doubt. If he said jump, we said how high. Because we knew that when the Guru is telling us something, even though we may not at this moment understand it, but the Guru has a far vision where he or she can see much beyond what you and I can see. So complete faith in the scriptures and complete faith in the Guru is Shastra Pramanam, and that is what one should do to Karya and Akarya, what I should do, what I should not do, and only in this way I should do my karmas. So now we'll end the 16th chapter here. We'll chant Om Tat Sat Iti, and then I'll just summarize the closing art prayers and then introduce the 17th chapter. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yogo Nama Shodashodhyayaha. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna ends the 16th chapter with saying Iti Om Tat Sat. Om Tat and Sat. Om is that total consciousness. Tat is that. Sat means existence. That existence. So these are all names of God, of the Supreme Brahman. Om Tat Sat. Iti means in this way, thus, in this way. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su, in the most respected and blessed Bhagavad Gita Su, in the Bhagavad Gita, the seventh case. And what is Bhagavad Gita? It is the Upanishad Su. It is the summary of all the Upanishads Bhagavan has put in the Bhagavad Gita. So Upanishad Su, in all the Upanishads, this teaching that has been given has been transferred by Bhagavan into the Bhagavad Gita. And what is it? It is Brahma Vidya. It is the highest knowledge of the self. It is not only how to deal with the world, that is explained, what we said, Karya, Akarya, but also gives us the highest knowledge how to realize the self through the practice of Bhagavad Gita and realize the self as within, as this consciousness. Brahma Vidyayam. And what is Brahma Vidya? It is also Yoga Shastra. It is not only the highest knowledge, but the Shastra of Yoga, how to combine myself to God and how to combine myself to this knowledge. Yoga means to unite. So, how to unite my mind with this knowledge and how to unite my mind with the highest. Yoga Shastre. And what is this chapter? Shodasho Dhyaya. It is the 16th chapter. And what is the name of this chapter? Deva Asura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga. So Daiva means the divine qualities, Asura means the asuric qualities, Sampat means the properties. So Daivi properties and the asuric properties, the divine qualities and the undivine qualities. Vibhaga Yoga, how to distinguish between those two, that has been explained in the 16th chapter. So Bhagavan says, in the 16th chapter, I have explained about the two different types of people, and they are not people outside, but they are within us. We have both. We have the divine qualities, and we have anger, greed, jealousy, desire, all those. So it is up to us to reduce Asuri and increase Daivi. So that's why this 16th chapter is very useful. Now we'll start the 17th chapter. And just to summarize very briefly, in the first chapter we saw that Arjuna had doubts, and Bhagavan starts the second chapter with telling him both what is his duty as a Kshatriya at the transactional level. In this world, what is your duty? That is told to him as a Kshatriya, as a warrior. Right now, the people standing in front of you represent evil, so this is a war of good over evil. It's not a war for kingdom or land, but it is to establish dharma. And not only that, but the highest knowledge is also given. So, Vyavaharik and Paramarthik, transactional knowledge and supreme knowledge, both are given in this Bhagavad Gita. Starting from the second chapter itself, he gives him both kinds of knowledge. And throughout the Bhagavad Gita up to the 16th chapter, this knowledge has continued. And now Arjuna, if you remember in the beginning of this chapter, second chapter, he says, Karpanya dosho pahatas svabhava prichami tvams dharma sammuda cheta. He says, I don't know what to do. My mind is confused. Yat shreyo syat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So he says, I don't know what is my duty. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know. I am totally confused and my skin is, on fire. My hands are trembling. I don't know. Compared to now in the 17th chapter, we'll see that Arjuna is ready and he asks a beautiful question. We'll do the Arjuna's question today and then the answers will start next week. And where does he get his question from? From shloka number 23, where it is said, Yashastra vidim utsrijya vartate kamakara. So from shloka number 23, he gets, so you can see that he is listening attentively, not in the middle dozing off or falling asleep. Especially on Zoom, sometime I can't tell, whether a person is sleeping or a person is awake, whether they are listening or they turn off their camera and maybe they are gone. But here we see that Arjuna is listening with full attention. And the question a lot of people ask, which Arjuna asks and which is also explained here, they say, what is the use of studying Bhagavad Gita, going to all these lectures? These Swamijis keep coming and telling us, I don't see any benefit. What I believe, be a good human being, bas. Don't hurt anybody, don't lie, don't cheat. You don't need to study Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Vedas. ठीक है, for Swamis, okay, they have nothing else to do. They sit in the caves or in the forest or in their home and study. You and I, we are so busy, itna kaam pada hai, subah se sham I am busy. Subah se sham, what is he doing? He's on the internet, surfing or on the phone talking, or we make ourselves artificially busy, spend so much time just WhatsApp, Facebook, my God, Twitter, we just on and on. So people say, I don't need to have this knowledge. As long as I am a good human being, I don't need to study. I don't need to go to all these Swamijis and all. Talking about Swamiji, from Monday tomorrow till next Friday, 7 to 8, we'll have beautiful lectures by Swami Ishwarananda ji. He will be here. And from 7 to 8 p.m., he will be starting Shweta Ashvatara Upanishad. It's a very beautiful Upanishad. We do have books in the bookstore. If you don't have them, you can order them from Chinmaya Publications, or if you are in town, you can contact Neeru or me, and we can make the books available to you. But do get those books, and you can try to follow them. So Shweta Ashvatara Upanishad. So people say, knowledge, I don't know how important it is. As long as you're a good human being, that is good. I'm not saying that it is wrong to be a good human being and be honest, sincere. But that alone is not the purpose. It's good. It's better than being a bad human being. We are not saying that. But knowing who I really am, what is my true nature, I am not only this human being, but I am that pure Atma, the pure self, Om, occupying this body, mind, and intellect. And that is my true nature. And the knowledge of the scriptures will teach me how to go to my supreme nature through right knowledge, through karma, and then through bhakti, through prayer, through right understanding. It will take me to my true nature. So that is the purpose of knowledge. So with this introduction, we'll start 17th chapter with a very nice question by Arjuna, and then we'll answer it next week. So chapter 17, shloka number 1. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ सप्तदशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहो रजस्तमः. So Atha Saptadashodhyaya, we start by offering our prayers to Bhagwan, Shri Paramatmane Namaha, Atha Saptadashodhyaya. Now we are embarking on the 17th chapter with Arjuna Uvach. Arjuna said, Ye means these people, whoever they may be, Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya, because Bhagwan had said, Yaha Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya in the 23rd shloka. So he uses the same word, that these people, Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya, they have, having given up the practices mentioned in the Shastra. They have given up. Either they don't know the Shastra or they choose not to follow the Shastra. They don't follow them, but they yajante shraddhayan vitaha, but they work in the world. Yajante, yaj has many meanings, we'll talk about that. But yajante shraddhayan, shraddhaya anvitaha, endowed with faith. So they have faith in whatever, but they may not necessarily know the scriptures. Tesham, of these people, Nishtha means Nitaram Sthiti. What is that in which they abide in? What is most important for them? O Krishna, Tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna Sattvam aho rajas tamaha. Is it sattva, is it rajas, or is it tama? So sattva he puts in one category, sattvam or rajas tamaha. So he knows what is sattvam. He has already heard in the 14th chapter and in many places that sattva is purity, knowledge, and that is the goal to be followed. Or raja and tama. Raja is goal of passion, activity, selfish, and tama is laziness. So he knows I'm not supposed to just follow rajas and tamas. I have to follow sattva. So he knows that. But a person may have faith but does not know the Shastras. So we can see he has asked a very beautiful question. So from this question, the teacher says there are four kinds of individuals. The first kind is one who knows the scriptures, understands them, follows them. So that is the highest. He knows what is in the scriptures, he understands, he has heard from his guru, and he follows. The fourth category is does not know the scriptures, does not care, and does not follow, does what he wants. The selfish, violent, and all those. Now, in between, there are two categories. The second category is one who knows the scriptures but does not have Shraddha in the scriptures. He uses the scriptures just to earn a living. Bhumtaye natu muktaye. So these are the kind who know the scriptures, but they just say, okay, you call me, I'll do the chanting, I'll do your puja, I'll do this, do that. But they themselves may or may not follow them. It could be in all religions, not only in Hinduism, but in any religion. People will go up and give speeches and sermons, but their own life is messed up. So that is the second category, where they are using the scriptures to earn a living, but they don't follow it themselves. So that is second. And then the third one is they don't know the scriptures, but they have faith. Why are you doing it? My father did it, or my parents told me to do it. So I'm doing it. My mother used to get up in the morning and do puja, so I will also do it. Or my parents told me, so they have faith in somebody else, maybe their parents or a teacher or some. And they have not studied scriptures, but they get up in the morning, do the puja, they will do the, rituals and ceremonies, and that is good, but without right understanding, what you can call as blind faith. So four categories. One knows the scriptures, follows. Last one doesn't know the scriptures, doesn't follow. Second one, he knows the scriptures, but he uses that for business. And then another one is who does not know the scriptures, but does because out of faith. So four kinds of people. And what is Shraddha? Shrat dhatte iti Shraddha. So Shraddha, Shrat means Sat, means truth. Dhatte means hold on to. So Shraddha is that which gives us the ability to hold on to the truth. Now a person may not have studied what is in the Bhagavad Gita, but he says, I know Bhagavad Gita is an eternal scripture given by Bhagwan, even if he doesn't have faith in that. But he says, yeah, people have said this is what is taught in the Gita, in the scriptures, in Bible, somewhere he has heard. He says, I have faith in that. And so I just follow it. I myself don't know why am I doing it. But I grew up in this household where everybody used to do it, my parents. Or like somebody comes to the Gita class or logs in on Zoom, say, why are you logging in or why are you here? I don't have any faith on this, but my wife wants me to come. So I have faith in my wife. So if my wife is saying, it must be good. So he will show up not because in fact, there's a story of one of the prominent members of the Chinmaya Mission who was not a Hindu. He used to drop his wife to Swami Chinmayananda's lectures and pick her up afterward. He said, I'm not interested in these lectures. It so happened that one day to pick her up, he got there 10 minutes early. And he said, I'm here 10 minutes early. I might as well listen to Swami Chinmayananda, what he's saying. And he heard and he was so fascinated. He said, wow, is this what my wife listens? Next day he came for the whole lecture. He sat in the last row. And the fifth day he was in the first row, listening to the whole lecture. And he later on became one of the very sincere sevaks of the Chinmaya Mission, even though it started out with no faith, but because my wife is going. So that's what faith is, that you may not know about it, but because of somebody else. Like the example they give is like somebody comes and tells you, I want you to buy tickets for this fundraiser. We are doing fundraiser for this organization which is doing very good work. It could be Ekal Vidyalaya, it could be Chinmaya Mission, could be Red Cross, United Way, whatever. These organizations are doing very good work. There is a fundraiser, and I don't know about it. Say, I have never heard of Ekal Vidyalaya. I don't know what it is. But I have faith in this person. He's a good friend of mine. And if he's telling me that this is an organization I should support, I'll buy 2 tickets, even though I have never heard about that, but I'll go to the fundraiser. So faith, I may not know, but I may develop faith through somebody else. And that's what Arjuna asks, that what is such a person's nishtha, nitaram sthiti? How does he abide firmly in this knowledge? Even though he does not have the knowledge of the scriptures, but he has shraddha, and he firmly abides on that path, on that role, because his shraddha is strong, even though he doesn't have knowledge. Then what happens to him? Is he sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? So as we said, in the modern age, if Arjuna was still alive today, he would ask this question but would frame it differently. I was reading one commentary, and so suppose Arjuna was asking him today, what he would say, that we have put all our faith in science, so much shraddha in science, so much shraddha, and we think science will conquer all problems, illnesses, and yeah, it has conquered illnesses, but there's still problem. Are we happy? No, we are probably less happy than our ancestors were. We can drive faster, we can fly from one corner to the other corner, we can go to different planets, we can air condition our homes, we don't feel heat, cold, and all that. But am I really happier than maybe my forefathers, my parents, or my grandparents? Maybe or maybe not. Even though they didn't have the physical comforts, we find that we have so many problems. Even though we have put all our faith in science, we find there is so much violence, so much killing. Every day we hear examples of people taking gun and, killing people. And there's so many wars going on, people trying to conquer another country. And then for some religions have been fighting each other for hundreds of years, and the war is still going on. So is this knowledge really helping? And that's what Arjuna wants to know, that tell me the distinction between knowledge and shraddha. I have this knowledge of the scriptures, and then I have shraddha, or I don't have knowledge but I have shraddha. So as Bhagavan says, best is have knowledge and have shraddha. But somebody has knowledge, does not have shraddha, or somebody has shraddha but has no knowledge. See, there can be all different types. So which one is better, and which one is sattvic, which one is rajasic, which one is tamasic? So we can see that Arjuna is a very alert student, and his questions are based on Bhagwan's teachings, and they are connected with previous chapters. And that's how we find throughout the Bhagavad Gita, one chapter is connected with another chapter beautifully. It's not 18 random chapters just thrown just like that, but there is a very beautiful sequence from chapter 1 and from chapter 2, which introduces the teachings, to chapter 18, which summarizes the teachings. And from 3 to 17 are the teachings. And they say Shastra actually ends in the 15th. 2nd to 15th is Shastra, is the main teaching. And then 16, 17 are 16th is talking about the good and the evil. 17th is further telling us about the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And 18th summarizes. So Sri Krishna does not just answer in one line, okay, this is Sattvic Rajasic. He does a beautiful analysis of this question and answers this question in his own unique fashion. Bhagavan Sri Krishna never answers a question straight in only one line. When a question is asked, he goes to the depth of the question, he sees what is the student's thinking, why the student is asking, and then he answers completely. And this Shastra is not only telling me what is my Dharma, but what is Yuga Dharma. One is what is my duty. Second is what is the duty of this entire world. Now that we are in Kali Yuga, what is our duty in this Yuga, in this day and age? So this knowledge, even though was given thousands of years ago, is very, very practical, very applicable for this Yuga. Especially in this Yuga of Kali Yuga, where we see so much violence, so much anger, so much hostility, so much greed, so much selfishness. Despite all that, how I can maintain my life, that's what they say, like a lotus grows in dirt, but itself spreads fragrance and beauty. So, surrounded by this world of cheating, ignorance, violence, how I can keep my heart pure, that is what is taught in the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna asks this very, very pointed question, and next week we will study the answer of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So before I end, I just wanted to remind you, Monday to Friday this week we'll have lectures 7 to 8 by Swami Ishwarananda ji. We would request you to come in person, so we'll have a good response. Those who are out of town or are really unable to come can log in on Zoom. We'll be on the same Zoom link. So thank you very much. And also next Sunday, there will not be a Bhagavad Gita class because we have Diwali celebration. So we'll do Lakshmi Puja in the hall and followed by a nice lunch. A lot of people are sponsoring. If anybody wishes to sponsor or help us financially, you can let us know, and we are planning a nice festive lunch next Sunday to celebrate Diwali. Actual day of Diwali is on Monday, but we'll celebrate it in Bal Vihar on Sunday. The children will do Lakshmi Puja, and then we'll have some songs sung by children, the Swaranjali group, and then we'll tell them about the significance of Diwali. So that will be next Sunday. So there will be no class, Bhagavad Gita class on Sunday, but we'll meet in 2 weeks. We have a few minutes if anybody has any questions or comments. Anything you would like to add? Barbara, anything you? Not today. Anybody else?
Anilji, can you repeat the fourth kind again?
Oh, the 4 kinds? Okay.
Well, so, I have the 3 kinds, but by the time I could write the 4th one, I got lost.
So the first is who has Shastras, who follows. 4th is who does not know the Shastras and doesn't care to follow. Then the second kind is the one who knows the Shastras but uses it for business, for enjoyment, for pleasure. And the third kind is the one who does not know the Shastras but follows because some wise person had told them, maybe his parents or somebody, grandfather or somebody had told them. So 4 kind. One is the best, 4th is the worst, and then 2nd and 3rd are in between.
I still didn't get the 4th kind.
No, see, the 4th is the worst one, who doesn't follow.
Okay.
So first
doesn't
and 4th.
Know, doesn't follow.
Doesn't know, doesn't follow. Right. That is the 4th. Yes.
Thank you.
First is the best one, who knows and follows. 4th is doesn't know, doesn't follow. 2nd and 3rd are in between.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Kusum, if we have a couple of minutes, if you have anything to add, otherwise we can close. Okay. All right. So we'll see you next Sunday and see you tomorrow for Swamiji's discourses, Monday to Friday, 7 to 8. We'll do the closing prayer. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much. Hari Om. Thank you all for logging in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hari Om.